Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back. How are we doing? How have you been since the full moon? It's been a few weeks since we talked. So, today we have a new moon in Cancer. Well, it's this evening, at least for those of us who are in the United States. If you're in Europe or Africa, then this new moon in Cancer will be on the 29th, not the 28th of June, 2022. So, this is a really interesting new moon because there's a lot of opportunity for a lot of change, a lot of shifts, changing the perspective, nurturing, because Cancer, it's associated with the archetype of the mother. And ironic, and then the moon is also associated with the sacred feminine. And then also with the sun and the moon, they are at 7 degrees, and that is associated with creativity. And so we are really being asked here to come up with some creative solutions. And that's what I'm hoping to get some insight with in the tarot, is that what we're seeing here with the way that the new moon and the sun, which obviously they're both conjunct right now at 7 degrees because it's a new moon, they're together. It's aligned with the South Node and the North Node in such a way where we will be looking at the past, which is the South Node, and being informed by the past. But then also, we're going to be invited to take a new perspective, to not necessarily deny the past, but to use it in such a way to where it informs us instead of defining us. Oh, that feels big. And the North Node is about where we're going. It's associated with our mission, with the future that we are focusing towards. So we're informed by the past, but not defined by it, so that we can create a fresh new perspective. Number 7 is the number of creativity to create a new future. But first, we have to be aware of maybe some of the things in the past that didn't work out. So we can use this information. We can use it to our benefit, right? Wrote down a few things I wanted to say. Jupiter number is also at 7 degrees in Aries, and it is aligned with this new moon in Cancer. And Aries is all about the sovereign self. It's about the sovereign self, and Jupiter expands anything it touches. So it's expanding, and what I'm seeing here with the expansion is almost like your periphery ends up becoming like almost 360 degrees. You can see the big picture. You can see the big picture. And not only can you see the big picture, but it expands your creativity so that once you do know what the big picture is, you know what you might want to do with it. Sometimes sometimes that distance between being informed and knowing what to do can be a really big leap, but I think Jupiter can help us with this one. What else did I wanted to? North Node and Uranus are also in conjunction. North Node is at 20 degrees, and Uranus is at 17 degrees. They are conjunct in Taurus. So Uranus is the planet of big change. And we just talked about the North Node being like where we're going, the future. And they're both in Taurus. And Taurus is aligned with beauty. It's wealth, health, family, home, very practical matters, stable, security. And so, and it's in the North Node. So there could be some unexpected changes up ahead in these areas. So it wouldn't surprise me if we might be getting some insight on possible job changes. Maybe people end up moving or start planning to move during this lunar alignment. We might have some different perspectives on who we want to associate with. So our social circle might be changing a little bit. And also our health, that's also coming through really strong, is that with Taurus being about, one of its associations is physical health, that we might also have a new perspective on what truly nurtures us. The moon is Cancer, and this is also about nurturing and about knowing what nurtures us. And so we might have a new perspective on how we relate to ourselves and our physical body as well. So let's get into it. Let's see like what some specifics are. There seems like there's so many invitations here in the astrology of this new moon. And let's see what invitation we should accept. Okay. So just join me in setting the intention, calling our divine highest selves. Verbal eloquence, mental clarity, and open intuition, and physical vitality. How might we best use the energy of this new moon in Cancer to support our well-being the most? One just popped up. I like it when that happens. It means it's very eager to play. Okay. So the one that just kind of popped out of the deck is the Eight of Pentacles. And the Eight of Pentacles is about learning new skills, habits, vocation. So remember we talked about like the possibility that we might be getting some information around the change of business and the change of livelihood, career. This would definitely be a card that would be associated with that. And so we have the Eight of Pentacles about changing not only our livelihood, but also the imagery of this card is, as you can see, he's pouring gold into this mold to create probably a new pentacle. And the pentacles in the tarot are associated with right livelihood. They're associated with the physical stuff, health, wealth, resources, home, shelter, that type of thing. And so with the Eight of Pentacles, we're forging a new path, almost like breaking the mold. That's what's coming to me, is like breaking the mold. Don't even like, it's time to create a new mold. And that's what that South Node piece of this new moon is all about. Is, yeah, you can, it's okay to look in the rear view mirror, but if we stare in the rear view mirror, then we are putting ourselves at risk for an accident because we're not looking ahead. So that's what we mean by being informed versus defined. If we're defined by the past, then we're keeping old molds. Don't need an old mold. But we can take a look at that at the past and be like, you know, this, and this is what I would like to change. And this is an invitation to start anew. Along with this, the Chariot card is in reversed. It's okay to slow down. Once we have a glimmer of forging ahead, which is the next card I was going to pull, the Three of Wands, which is about a new journey, we're almost on the boat. So the Three of Wands, he hasn't gone on the boat yet. The Three of Wands is about almost at the precipice of a new journey. We've already prepared, though. That's the Two of Wands. We've already prepared, already packed the bags. He's sitting on the port with his, trunks full of wherever he's going to take on the boat. And he is preparing to set sail for new horizons. And it's okay if it's not happening as quick as we might think it should. Everything is happening in divine timing. And this is what the cards are kind of giving a little bit of like a heads up for, is that some of this stuff from the past that might come up, Jupiter is going to expand the challenges and some of that discomfort of like, you know what, like this expectation I had wasn't met, or this disappointment happened. Those feelings will actually be expanded. But what the invitation is that Jupiter will also be expanding our capacity for creative solutions to those challenges. And will it be expanding the perspective on how to move forward in those new challenges? And some of the things that we might be reminded that are being asked through alchemy, through personal work, shadow work, that type of thing, is past disappointments of a lack of success. Well, I tried that once and it didn't work. And this card is saying, well, try again. You don't have to try the exact same way this time. But success is often defined or achieved by trying 1,000 different things that fail in order to get to the solution that works. And I think that that's kind of part of the chariot, is not allowing ourselves to get impatient, to get impetuous, and to try to charge ahead haphazard in such a way where then we will be defined by karmic patterns of the past. The other thing that might come up is that perhaps some of those things that happened in the past, they might have cost some money. Maybe this money was in the form of an investment that didn't work, or perhaps we had to pay for a lot of different therapy or healing or whatever it might be. There's something about the disappointments of the past that actually caused us to feel some sort of financial struggle or stress or concern. Or we just didn't like spending our money that way. And that might make us trepidatious about moving forward. But the cards are saying is like slow and steady wins the race. No need to put any undue pressure on yourself. No need to judge yourself. That's kind of what the reversed Eight of Pentacles and Ace of Swords are warning against. Easy peasy. And step by step, we will get to where we need to go. Assess. Now is a really good time for journaling. Assess what it is that hasn't worked for you in the past. And then even if you don't know exactly what to necessarily do about it, sometimes there is nothing to do about it. Sometimes it's just about being open to a new way of being or a new perspective, which is the Eight of Pentacles, and exploring and playing. And I have a feeling that through synchronicity, any of the ambiguity or vagueness of like what it is that we're moving towards is going to reveal itself in its due time, because Uranus is about the unexpected. It's about the unexpected. And also this new moon is in alignment with the midheaven in Pisces. And Pisces is about imagination. It's about spiritual connection. So there really is like a gateway here that's being open, that's allowing us for a fresh new perspective, that's going to allow for more nurturing, greater health, more beauty. But it might take more than one lunar alignment, one lunar cycle to complete what our vision for the future is, or where it is that we feel we might be going. So thank you so much for joining me here today. I look forward to seeing you back here in a couple weeks, where we will take a look at the full moon and see what the full moon has in store. Ironically, and this was not planned, folks, the podcast that I have launched in the last couple weeks since the last time we spoke, very much align with this message. So at the risk of self-promotion, if you're finding that some of the challenges that Jupiter is expanding are a little bit heavy, you might really appreciate the podcast that is on all of the major platforms, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, on shadow work. In that episode, I detail what shadow work is and 3 questions that you can ask your challenging parts, your shadows, on how best to heal and alleviate those shadows in a way that is self-loving and graceful. And then this week, I also uploaded a sleep-based meditation that integrates the blue star, which is our spiritual sun Sirius. So you literally are infusing your entire energetic structure with high vibrational blue star energy. And that is very calming and can also create a lot of clarity in times in which we're not feeling quite so sure as to where we're going. And at the very least, it just feels really good and it's really relaxing. All right, folks, thank you so much for joining me here. Have a wonderful couple of weeks, and I look forward to back to seeing you here during our full moon. Take care. Bye bye.